Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Sadhu Gaurabhakta Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Rama Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Rama 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 Hare Krishna Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Rama Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Rama Rama Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Rama Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Ram Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna Hare Rama Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare Rama Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Rama Rama Hare Like Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda like Gadadhara Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare, Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare, Hare Ram, Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare 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 Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare, Hare Ram Hare, Hare Krishna Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे राम हरे राम राम हरे हरे
Hare Krishna, Raja Prabhu, Lalit Mohan Prabhu, Samyukta Madhai, Dandal Pranams, all glory to Srila Prabhupada and Gurudev. Thank you for joining Japaka. Let us go to readings. Dandal Pranam. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Excuse me. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namini. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare. Mukhaṁ karoti vācālam pangum langāyate girim yakrupātam vande Shri Gurum Dīnatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Sri Chaitanya Mishwaram. Today we are going to read from Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, chapter 9 review. Okay, so let us read from here quickly. So I'll read these sections. 1.9, first canto is creation. 9th chapter, the passing away of Bhishma Deva. The passing away of Bhishma Deva in the presence of Lord Krishna. Yeah, these sections, different sections is given here. 1.9, passing away of Bhishma Deva. 1 to 11 slokas talks about Bhishma welcomes everyone assembled at his deathbed according to time, place, and circumstances. Okay, 1 to 4 talks about Pandavas, Krishna, and sages go to meet Bhishma Deva. 5 to 8, great souls from all over the universe assembled. 9 to 11, Bhishma welcomed all, worshipped Krishna, affectionately spoke to Pandavas. 12 to 17, Bhishma Deva pacifies and encourages the Pandavas. 12 to 13, sympathizes with their sufferings. 15, influence of irreversible time. 16, 17, accept Lord's inconceivable plan and follow it. So 18 to 24, Bhishma Deva glorifies Krishna's position as Supreme Lord. 18 to 20, Krishna is the original Narayana, inconceivable, understood only by Mahajanas. 21, 23, 21 to 23 talks about Krishna has faultless qualities. Krishna has faultless qualities. Bhakti Yoga reveals him and delivers the devotee. 24, may he wait for me at the time of my death. 25 to 28, Bhishma Deva instructs Yudhishthira about various dharmas and purusharthas with historical examples. 29 to 31, Bhishma Deva's final moments. Seeing the auspicious moments, he withdraws his mind from other subject matters and fixes it on Krishna. 32 to 43, Bhishma Deva's prayers to Lord. Let my mind focus on Krishna's Parthasarathi form and his activities. 44 to 49, honoring Bhishma Deva's departure and the events thereafter. 44 to 46, celebration by demigods and performance of funeral rites by Yudhishthira. 47, sages glorify Krishna and return. 48 to 49, Yudhishthira, after consoling his uncle and aunt, ruled according to dharma. Different sections and different, so each section has multiple verses and different themes. So let us go through it. So begin with Mata. Please go ahead, Mata. Deva Mata, you start from you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji Dandal Pranam. 1 to 4, the Pandavas visit Bhishma Deva's deathbed at Kurukshetra. Being afraid for having killed so many subjects, Yudhishthira, desiring to understand dharma, went to Kurukshetra where Bhishma Deva had fallen. Accompanied by his brothers Krishna, sages like Vyasa and Daumya, Yudhishthira appeared very aristocratic, like Kuvera surrounded by Guhyakas. Seeing Bhishma Deva lying on the ground like a demigod fallen from the sky, the Pandavas and Krishna bowed down before him. Should I continue, Prabhuji?
Yes. Continue.
Bhishma Deva welcomes everyone assembled at his deathbed. Great souls from all over the universe had assembled to see Bhishma Deva. Parvata, Narada, Brihadashva, Bharadwaja, Parshurama, Vashishta, Gautama, Atri, Sukadeva Goswami, Kashyapa, Angirasa, etc., as well as their disciples. Welcome. Bhishma Deva welcomed all of them properly for the for he knew dharma as applicable to time and place. Because Bhishma Deva could not welcome them physically, he did so by sweet words with hearty expressions. Worship of Krishna. Bhishma Deva, knowing the glories of Lord Krishna, worshipped him, who is the Lord of the universe, Jagat Ishwaram, is situated within the heart, Hridistham, and manifests his transcendental form by his internal potency, Maya Yopata Vigraham. Seeing the Pandavas silent and overwhelmed with affection, Bhishma Deva spoke to them with his eyes blinded by tears of love. Hare Krishna.
Yeah. So all the great personalities assembled there at the deathbed of Bhishma Deva. The names are given. His brothers, Krishna, sages like Vyasa, Dhaumya, Yudhishthira. Actually, in detail, Srila Prabhupada is given each personality, some overview. That who is that personality? And here, great souls Bhishma Deva, to see Bhishma Deva, Parvata, Narada, Bruhadashva, Bharadwaja, Parashurama, Vashishta, Gautama, Atri, Sukadeva, Goswami, Kashyapa, Angirasa, etc. Yes, different personality. Okay. Seeing the Pandavas silent and overwhelmed with affection, Bhishma Deva spoke to them with his eyes blinded by tears of love. A moment how affectionately he's looking at Pandavas. Yes, read Mataji, Samyukta Mataji, go ahead from this section.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. 12 to 17. Bhishma Deva pacifies and encourages the Pandavas. Protection in sufferings and injustices. Aho kashtam, aho nyayam. Oh, what terrible sufferings and injustices. Yadyuyam dharma nandanaha. You good souls had to face being the sons of dharma. Jeevitam narhata klishtam. You didn't deserve to remain alive under those tribulations yet. Vipra dharma achyutashraya. You were protected by Brahmanas, Dharma and Krishna. Kunti suffered greatly due to Pandu's death and having to raise young children. She suffered even when you were grown up because of your actions. Time is the cause. Sarvam kala kritam manye. Bhavatam cha yat apriyam. I consider that this which is unwelcome has all been done to you by the time factor. Sapalo yat base loko, which controls the world among with its protectors. Vayor iva gana valiha. Prabhuji? Vayu. Okay, Prabhuji. Just as the wind controls the clouds. Yudhishthira, being the direct incarnation of Dharma, cannot have had prarabdha karma. Therefore, the cause of his suffering is not karma but time. Reverses in the presence of great personalities. Yatra dharmo suto raja. In the presence of Yudhishthira, the son of Dharma. Gadha panir vrukodaraha. Bhima, the great fighter with a club. Krishnostri gandivam chapam. The great bowman Arjuna with mighty Gandiva and Suhrut Krishna stato vipat. Krishna as direct well-wisher. How can there be reversals? 1.9.14 says that the reversals were caused by time, but how could time attack the Pandavas who were filled with Dasya, Sakhya and Vatsalya for Krishna? This is most astonishing. The reversal appear like the effects of karma, but they are not. Therefore, Bhishma Deva gives his final conclusion in 1.9.16. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, yeah. Who is that? Yeah. Lalit Mohan Prabhu, please read.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Krishna's inconceivable plan. Nahiyasya karhichit rajan. Prabhu, am I audible enough?
Clear.
Nahyasya karhichit rajan puman veda vidhistitam vidhitsitam. O king, no one can know the plan of Lord Sri Krishna. Yad vijijñasaya yukta muhyanti kavayopihi. Even though great philosophers inquire exhaustively, they are bewildered. 17. Accept and execute Krishna's plan. Tasmad idam daiva tantram vyavasya bharatarshabha. O best of the descendants of Bharata, I therefore ascertain that this is Lord's inconceivable plan. Tasyanu vihito natha pahi praja prabho. So accept it and follow it. You should take care of the helpless subjects as you are their master now. But how can you say that? But how can you say that no one knows the plan of the Lord when he is right in front of you and you can ask him?
Important verses, no? Okay. Krishna's inconceivable plan. Accept and execute Krishna's plan.
Prabhuji, from that Ahonyayam, na? From that verse, 7 verses are very important actually.
From this one, 16.
Bhishma Deva started, no. Aho Kashtam Ahonyayam.
Acha. From 12.
12, yes. From where the Bhishma spoke, no?
So this is called Bhishma Stuti, Prabhu? Is called Bhishma Stuti?
Prabhuji, this is not complete Bhishma Stuti. Only some verses, very important verses are, recollected by Sukadeva Goswami. Bhishma Stuti is very big one actually. He spoke a lot of things to Yudhishthira. See, Prabhuji, Bhishma Dev is giving dharma to Yudhishthira, who is Dharmaraj. That is what devotees are actually. Devotees are beyond all these things actually. They know everything, but they will, become the instrument of Krishna. Even though knowing all these things, he was stick to his rule that I will save this what is Indraprastha. They're completely confusing actually, in one sense, in a material sense. But only Krishna and he knows, the devotee knows what's happening with them.
Thank you, Prabhu. Kinchan, Prabhu?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Section you read from some part. Yeah, 18 to 20.
18 to 24. Bhishma glorifies the position of the Lord Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Krishna is the source of Narayan. Isha Vai Bhagavan Shakshat. This Sri Krishna is the personality of Godhead. Adoya Narayana Puvan. The original Narayana, the Supreme El Giant. Vohayal Mayaya Lokam. He bewilders everyone by his Maya and Vidhas Charati Vrishtusu. Moves secretly in the Vrishtis family like one of us. One must understand these confidential glories by the grace of the Mahajanas. The Mahajanas knows him. Shiva, Narada and Kapila knows his glories confidentially through direct contact, yet they do not know his intentions. Out of the ignorance, you thought of him to be your maternal cousin, friend, well-wisher, counselor, messenger, benefactor, and so on. Further, understanding the natures of that Supreme Person, Lord Krishna, faultless qualities, present in everyone's heart, Sarva Atmanaha, equally kind to everyone, Samadrisha, free from the false ego of differentiation, Anahankaretha, absolute, Advayasya. Therefore, whatever he does is free from the material inebriety, Mati Vaishamyam, and he is free from all the attachments. Niravadyasya, mercifulness. Although equal to everyone, Samadrisha, he is specially inclined to unflinching devotees. He has mercifully come before me while I am ending my life. Tatapi ekanta bhakteshu Pashyabukampitam Yalvisum Tyajhatha Sakshat Krishno Darshanam
Agataha.
Agata.
Prabhu, read again. This is remembering is so much merciful, Supreme Lord, he come before me while ending my life. Vishma Deva. Read again, Prabhu. Try.
तथापि एकांत भक्तेषु पश्याभूपानुकम्पितं यन्विषुं जात साक्षात् कृष्णा दर्शनम् अघाता
Agataha. Yes.
आगता.
Yeah. So I really appreciate Akinchan Prabhu. You also improving a lot in Sloka recitation. Very good. Nice. Yeah. Raju Prabhu, please. This grade goes to Lalit Mohan Prabhu. Chalo.
No, Prabhuji, it's individual's interest. It's not me, Prabhu. Very good.
It's okay. Yeah. Go ahead, Raju Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Power of Bhakti Yoga. Bhaktya Mano Yasmin. A devotee whose mind is absorbed in Krishna with devotion. Vachayan Nama Kirtayan, and whose voice chants the Lord's holy name. Tyajan Kalevaram Yogi Muchyate Kama Karma Biha. Karma Bihi. He is released from the bondage of karma while quitting his body. May my Lord kindly await me in his beautiful 400 form with lotus face, red eyes, and pleasing smile, while I am quitting this material body. Sadeva Devo Bhagavan Pratikshyatam Kalevaram Yavad Idam Hinomid Aham Prasanna Asaruna Loko
Lochana.
Lochanolasam Mukambujo Dhyayana Patas Chatur Bujaha. Stop here.
Yeah. See, in his beautiful 400 form with lotus face, red eyes, and pleasing smile, while I am quitting this material body. Life Mohan Prabhu, such other Prabhu, one of the beautiful prayer.
Sadeva Devo Bhagavan Pratikshyatam Kalevaram Yavadidam Hinomya Prasannaha Sarunalochanalosam. एक मिनट रोशन, sorry. Prasannaha Sarunalochanolasan Mukham Bujodhyana Patas Chaturbujah.
Remembering, na? Vishma, in that condition, remembering. This is directly from Vishma Deva. Yeah. Amit Chaudhara, I give Raj Prabhu in the Samit again. Yes. Deepa Mata again. Mother is. Go ahead.
Prabhuji. 1 second.
Yeah.
Yeah.
25 to 28.
Yeah. Bhishma Deva instructs Maharaja Yudhishthira. Yudhishthira, after hearing Bhishma Deva speak in the appealing tone, inquired from him about various dharmas. Bhishma Deva then explained Varnashrama, Vairagya, Raga, Dana Dharma, Raja Dharma, Moksha Dharma, Stri Dharma, and Bhagavad Dharma in brief and in detail. Bhagavad Dharma, being the best of all, was placed at the end. Then he described Dharma, Artha, Kama, and Moksha, citing instances from history, for he was himself well acquainted with the truth. 29 to 31, Bhishma Deva's final moments. Uttarayana. While Bhishma Deva was describing Dharma, the auspicious time of Uttarayana, which is desired by mystics who die at their will, Chanda Mrityo arrived, focused on Krishna. Thereupon, Bhishma, who spoke on thousands of subjects and fought thousands of battles, withdrew his mind and focused on Lord Krishna, who stood before him, four-handed and dressed in yellow garments. By pure meditation on Lord Krishna, he was freed from all inauspiciousness and bodily pains. All the external activities of his senses stopped, and he prayed to the Lord. Hare Krishna.
Yes, yeah. Samyukta Mata, read.
Yes, Krishna. 32 to 42, Bhishma Deva's prayers unto the Lord. My master has mercifully come to me in my last moments. Let me offer him the gift of my thoughts. Let me know, invest my thinking, feeling, and willing in the all-powerful, self-satisfied Lord Krishna, who is the leader of the devotees, Satvata Pungave, and who sometimes enjoys pastimes by descending into his own creation, the material world. 33. Let me have Rati for Vijaya Sakha, whose transcendental body is desired by the three worlds and whose complexion is dark like the Tamala tree. His glittering yellow clothes shine in the sun, and his lotus feet is surrounded by curly locks of hair. Tribhuvana Kamanam Tamala Varnam Ravikara Gaura Varambaram Dadhane Vapur Alaka Kula Vrutana Bhajam Nabjam Vijaya Sake Ratir Astume Navadhya. Bhishma cannot give up that form of sweetness. Again, he describes more details. Let my mind go unto Sri Krishna on the battlefield, whose flowing hair was covered with dust raised by the horses, and whose face was wet with sweat. When his skin was wounded by my sharp arrows, he enjoyed it. Yudhi. Shall I want to read?
Try, mother. It's okay. Children.
Yudhituraga Rajo Vidumra Vishwa Kachalulita Sravamari Alankristai Kristasye Kritasye
Alankritas.
Alankritasye. Yes, Prabhuji. Mama Nishita Sarair Vibidhyamana Pachi Vilasat Kavachestu Krishna Atma. Sorry, Prabhuji, there are any mistakes.
Same.
Bhishma's fight with the Lord was an exchange of transcendental pleasure. Thus, his throwing up of sharp arrows at the Lord's transcendental body is as good as the worship of another devotee who throws soft roses upon him. It is also similar to the beating of a fiancé. May I have Rati for Parthasatta, who by his merciful glance shortened the lifespans of the opposite party when he placed the chariot in the midst of the two armies at Arjuna's command. May the object of my attraction be the lotus feet, Charanarati, of that Lord who eradicated Arjuna's ignorance by delivering transcendental knowledge, Atma Vidya, when he was bewildered and refused to fight. It is said that Krishna elevates his devotee to higher position than his own. I saw that directly.
Yeah.
Shall I read, Prabhuji?
Let's read from yeah.
Yes.
Live problem. 37.
Yes, Prabhuji. Sacrificing his own promise, not to use a weapon, and to fulfill my desire to see Krishna fighting for saving his friend. He ran towards me with the chariot's wheel, while the earth shook and his outer garments fell on the ground. Let my Gati destination be Lord Mukunda, who rushed towards me as if angry to kill me, his body covered in blood from the wounds of my sharp arrows. 39. May I have Rati for Partha Saradi, who stood with a whip in his right hand and the reins in his left, carefully protecting Arjuna's chariot and awarding the original forms, Swarupam, to those who died on the battlefield seeing him. The prema that you desire in my charioteer pastime is in Arjuna alone. But is he the chief among all the associates with prema? Shall I continue, Prabhu?
Yeah, continue.
Gopis' love is supreme. Lord Krishna's movements and smiles of love attracted the gopis, who imitated his actions, blinded by the madness of love after his disappearance from the Rasa dance. At the Rajasuya Yajna, I witnessed Lord Krishna being worshipped by the great kings and sages as the most exalted. Now I can meditate upon Lord Krishna, having transcended the misconceptions of duality in regard to his presence in everyone's heart. The sun may be perceived differently, but he is one. Nirvikalpa Samadhi. Thus Bhishma, with his mind, speech, sight, and actions, absorbed himself in Krishna, became silent, and stopped his breathing.
Very good. Yeah. Yeah, Hakinchan Prabhu. Now, who is? Yeah, Hakinchan Prabhu, want to read?
Yes, Prabhu. Yeah. 44 to 49, honoring Vishma Dev's departure and the events thereafter. Silence. Knowing that Bhishma Dev had entered into Brahman, everyone became everyone became silent like birds at the end of the day. Bhishma Dev actually entered the spiritual realm in one of the Vaikuntha planets where the Lord is in his eternal form of Parthasarathi. But common people thought that he had entered into the Brahman. Drums and flowers. Both men and demigods sounded drums. The kings praised him, and the flowers fell from the sky. Yudhishthira performed funeral rituals for the departed Bhishma Dev and was momentarily overtaken with grief. The sages then glorified Krishna by confidential Vedic hymns, his names, etc., and departed bearing Krishna within their hearts. Krishna Ridhaya, consoling Maharaj Yudhishthira, along with the Lord Krishna, went back to Hastinapur and controlled Dhritarashtra and Gandhari. Rule. With the permission of Dhritarashtra and the approval of Krishna, Maharada Yudhishthira then ruled the ancestral kingdom strictly according to the Dharma.
Yeah, we are done with reading. So, actually, in this chapter, we have to remember some of the verses. Actually, Bhishma Deva's prayers to Lord, 32 to 43. 32 to 43. Bhishma Deva's prayers to Lord. Let my mind focus on Krishna's Parthasarathi form and his activities. So 32 to 43, just quickly see what are these. 30. Okay, prayers unto the Lord. Okay. Yeah, all these prayers are beautiful prayers. Parthasakha. 43. Okay. Nirvikalpa Samadhi. Lastly, see, complete absorption, all of his. Thus Bhishma with his mind, speech, sight, and actions absorbed himself in Krishna, became silent and stopped his breath. Is in his own will, he can stop his breath. That is, he got the benediction from his father, right? So at last, that moment, complete absorption, and he probably is a going back to Godhead. Is Vaikuntha planets, or do you know, Prabhu, that info? Actually, I
Yes,
see.
Prabhuji, on the day of Uttarayana, he has gone back to Godhead again. Means on Sankranti, on the day of Sankranti, he has left his body and directly.
See, he has seen in 400 forms of Lord. So, this Vaikuntha planet itself, the topmost planet of the Gola Vrindavan.
No. Bhishma is a warrior devotee. Prabhuji. What will he do in Goloka? No. He will be serving Lord in his own mood, Prabhu. You cannot remove from him that thing.
Okay.
So he wanted form.
So on the Vaikuntha planets, and then Aishwarya.
Yes, Prabhu. But he's a very pure devotee of Lord. Mahajan he is.
Mahajan, of course, yes.
Yeah.
See, Vaikuntha planets, there is no birth, death, old age, everything.
No. Everything is only the mood is different. The rasa is different. That's it.
Correct.
But his rasa is always fighting only, na. क्या करेंगे वो गोलोक में जाके? This is what has been told to me one of my counselors.
In fact, Prabhuji, in one of the verses just now that we read, it is mentioned that he went to the Vaikuntha planet with the Parthasarathi form, where Krishna is present in Parthasarathi form and Rasundi Dantla. So Krishna is not present in Parthasarathi form in Goloka. So it is mentioned in one of these.
Right. 44 lo. Bhishma Deva actually entered the spiritual realm in one of the Vaikuntha planets, where the Lord is in eternal form of Parthasarathi. But common people thought that he had entered into Brahman. Okay, that's clear. Nice. Okay. So let us do some practice, sloka practice.
హరే కృష్ణ ప్రభుజీ. ప్రభుజీ మరి భీష్మ ఏకాదశి అని ఒకటి వస్తుంది కదా ప్రభుజీ మనకి ఏకాదశుల్లో. సో అప్పుడు ఆయన ఇదైన గడియల ప్రభుజీ ఏకాదశి, భీష్మ ఏకాదశి అంటే
అనుకుంటున్నాను అదే కదా ప్రభు. ఎస్, భీష్మ పాసింగ్. యాక్చువల్గా దేర్ ఇస్ వన్ డే పాసింగ్ అవే ఒకటి ఉంటుంది. అది వైష్ణవ క్యాలెండర్ లో పాసింగ్ భీష్మస్ పాసింగ్ డే అని ఎప్పుడు ఉంటుంది. అదే అదే అదే
భీష్మ పంచక వస్తుంది కదా, అది భీష్మ పంచక.
భీష్మ పంచక అంటే కార్తీక మాసంలో వస్తుంది లాస్ట్.
అదే దాని తర్వాత
లాస్ట్ 5 days. మరి భీష్మ ఏకాదశి anybody have any మన లలిత్ మోహన్ ప్రభు, do you have anything?
This is the day which he reveals the 1000 names of Lord.
What Prabhu?
Bhishma Ekadasi is the day which he reveals the 1000 names of the Lord and starts praying the Lord.
Vishnu Sahasranamama.
The 1000 names are Vishnu Sahasranamama, Mataji. So after that, he starts the glorifying the name of. Actually, Prabhuji, the Mahabharata lo untadi Prabhuji. In Bhagavatam, we only have a glimpse of it. Mahabharatamlo actually 6 chapters ఉంటాయి. What Bhishma told to Yudhishthir. ధర్మం మీద ఏం చెప్తాడు, అర్థం మీద ఏం చెప్తాడు, ఎట్లా అనేది. And the what is a Kautilya's, this one Arthashastra is based on this only. On what Bhishma spoke to Yudhishthir. How to rule the kingdom, how to rule, how to take care of women, how to take care of children. Everything is given by him. And after that, at last he concludes, ivanni kuda why we are doing all these things? To reveal, so to satisfy Krishna. And this is that. Sorry Prabhu, I'm just detracking it.
Tracking it, చెప్పండి.
Yeah, ఇది glorify Krishna, glorify చేస్తూ then he speaks 1000 names of Krishna. That is Sahasranama. And then it is said that actually this is how it differs our civilization from other civilizations. So actually any civilization couldn't sustain. Why? Because the main focus is not Krishna. If you see the Chinese civilization, they have a Confucianism, Taoism, legalism, and 6 to 8 isms they have, but not focused on Lord. Only one aspect is focused on Lord. God is exclusive for them. But here in this Vedic civilization, God is all inclusive. That is how this is different. And if you see the books of them, like Sun Tzu antar Prabhuji, the Chinese civilization's art of war antar them, Sun Tzu art of war. They have a different conception of war only actually. And if you see the prince, ante European civilizations unnai kada, they have their own way of doing the war. If you see them, that is how their war machines are inculcated. So how Arthashastra is different, how India is different from these things, because finally they conclude that Krishna is everything and he is the main controller. Only by him everything is happening. This is where the Bhishma concludes at last, and he completely prays to the Lord, and then he leaves the body. అంటే కరెక్ట్ గా మన భీష్మ పంచకంలో 5th రోజు ఆయన వెళ్తారు ప్రభుజీ. అది ఉత్తరాయణం వస్తుంది. తర్వాత కరెక్ట్ గా ఒక యాక్సిస్ లో ఉంటాయి ప్రభుజీ, సన్ ప్లస్ ఎర్త్ ఒక యాక్సిస్ లో ఉంటాయి. ఆ టైంలో పోతారండి, వెళ్ళిపోతారు.
నాకు తెలుసు ఏ టైం సూటబుల్ అంటే కరెక్ట్ ప్లాంటరీ సిస్టమ్. దిస్ ఇస్ మై రైట్ టైం. I am remembering. Nice. Going back to it.
Bas, yes, Prabhu.
Benediction, అందరికి లేదు Prabhuji. That's where is it?
No. We cannot bear that, Prabhuji. He is bearing the pain of 1000 arrows on him, and he is, wo late ke so raha hai, and then he is doing all these things. Prabhuji, we cannot bear a pain of one day, Prabhuji. We cannot even think of those things actually. But he is in that rasa, so he is enjoying. We are not in that rasa. We cannot enjoy. Like when we do that training in Air Force, we have a jungle training, Prabhuji. It is designed in such a way that they will make you sleep for 3 hours a day. Like that there will be 6 days, Prabhuji. Adi pass ayino day they will go ahead, else they will go back to their home. That is how it is actually. So now Bhishma is enjoying those things actually, and we are struggling to pass ahead.
Yeah, అదే ఒకసారి ఊహించుకుంటేనే అదే కెనాట్ సస్టైన్. అంటే ఎంత పెయిన్ beyond the body, Prabhu, that is experiencing that. Yeah, sure. Thank you for sharing, Prabhu. So ఎవరు చేస్తారు ఈరోజు? యాక్చువల్గా కెన్ వి గో హెడ్ విత్ ద words for 10 minutes for all the slokas? Words, what are there in the words? In this, yeah. So 13.22, Purusha Prakriti Stohi. Purusha, the living entity. Purusha means the living entity. Prakriti Staha, being situated in the material energy. Bhumte Prakriti Jan Gunan. Bhumte means enjoys. Prakriti Jan produced by the material nature. Gunan, 3 modes of nature. Karanam Gunasangosya. Karanam, the cause. Gunasanga, the association with the modes of nature. Asya, of the living entity. Sat Asad. Sad Asad Yoni Janmasu. Sad Asad Yoni Janmasu. Sat Asad, in good and bad. Yoni, species of life. Janmasu, in births. Living entity, the material nature, thus follows the ways of life, enjoying the 3 modes of nature. This is due to his association with that material nature. Thus he meets with good and evil among various species. 13.23, Upadrasta Anumantacha. Upadrasta, overseer. Anumantacha, permitter, cha also. Bharta, Bhokta, Maheshwara. Bharta, master. Bhokta, supreme enjoyer. Maheshwara, Maha Ishvara, the supreme lord. Paramatmeti chapyukto, Paramatma, the super soul. Iti, also. Cha, and api, indeed. Uktaha, is said. Dehesmin Purusha Paraha. Dehe, in the body. Asmin, this. Purusha, enjoyer. Paraha, transcendental.
Hare Krishna, Giriraj Prabhu.
Japan.
See, Prabhuji, now, I request everyone to go through these words only, synonyms only very carefully, because the same will be repeated in Bhagavatam also. Cha, api, yukto. Chapya. This will continuously come anywhere. Chapyu. Cha, api. So these are the words, where you will get repeatedly coming in every slokas in Bhagavatam also. Can you remember these words? Cha, api. And then there is one he. H-I. He. So, certainly. Cha and api. Also. Indeed. So these are the words will get repeated anywhere. These are the common words. Please just concentrate on these words. మనం యాక్చువల్లీ ఒక కొత్త భాష నేర్చుకుంటున్నట్టే, బట్ దిస్ ఈస్ దైవ భాష, నాట్ ఎ హ్యూమన్ భాష. సో యూ విల్ ఎంజాయ్ ఇట్ ఎటర్నల్లీ.
ఇది కరెక్ట్ ప్రభు. ఎస్ అది కొన్ని ఉంటాయి. హీ, ఇది, చాపి, ఇంకా అక్కడక్కడ అంటే ఇవన్నీ కూడా చా. చూడు, ఉపద్రష్ట, హనుమంత, చా చా ఆల్సో. ఇవన్నీ కనెక్టెడ్ వర్డ్స్ కదా ప్రభు, కనెక్టెడ్ కదా.
అంటే ద సేమ్ విల్ బి యూజ్డ్ ఎనీవేర్ ప్రభుజీ, అట్లా అన్నమాట. అది వచ్చిందంటే మనం అర్థమైపోద్ది, అంటే హీ స్ట్రెస్సింగ్ ఆన్ దిస్. హీ అని అంటే హీఈస్ వెరీ సర్టన్లీ దట్ విల్ హ్యాపెన్. అపి మీన్స్ ఆల్సో, అండ్ చా అండ్ ఆల్సో, చాప్య అంటే అండ్ ఆల్సో, అది కూడా ప్లస్ ఇది కూడా. దీస్ ఆర్ ఆల్ రిపీటెడ్ వర్డ్స్ ప్రభుజీ. సో ఒక్కసారి మనం గుర్తు పెట్టుకుంటే ఇట్ విల్ బి యూజ్డ్ ఎనీవేర్. తర్వాత గుర్తొచ్చేస్తే ఓ he means to this, he wants to stress this.
Sure. Yet in this body there is another, a transcendental enjoyer, who is the Lord, the supreme proprietor, who exists as the overseer and permitter, and who is known as the super soul. Without looking, what is the overseer and permitter in the first sloka? Quickly, Mata is Prabhu's. What is the overseer and permitter in
Anumanta, Upadrashta, Anumanta.
Overseer. Okay. 14.26. Mam chayo avvibicharena. Mam కూడా వస్తుంది అప్పుడప్పుడు. మామ్, అంటూ మీ.
మామ్, మీ, ఎం మీద చాలా వర్డ్స్ ఉంటాయి, రెండు అక్షరాలు.
అదే
మయాం, మామ్, మీ అన్ని ఒకటే ఇంచుమించు. ఫ్రమ్ మీ, మీ, ఐ.
కృష్ణుడు మామేవ ప్రపద్యంతే మాయామేత మాం ఏవయే అంటూ మీ. మామ్, అంటూ మీ. చా ఆల్సో. యహ, ఎ పర్సన్ హూ. అవ్యభిచారేణ, వితౌట్ ఫెయిల్. భక్తి యోగేన సేవతే. భక్తి యోగేన బై డివోషనల్ సర్వీస్. సేవతే, టెండర్ సర్వీస్. సగుణాన్ సమతీత్యైతాన్. సహ, ఈ. Gunan, 3 modes of material nature. Samatitya, transcending. Etan, all these. Brahma Bhuyaya Kalpate. Brahma Bhuyaya. Elevated to the Brahman platform. Kalpate becomes one who engages in full devotional service, unfailing in all circumstances, at once transcends the modes of material nature and thus comes to the level of Brahman. 15.7 Mamai Vamsho Jiva Loke. Mama, my. Eva, certainly. Amshaha, fragmental particle. Mamai Vamsha, 3 words. Mama Eva Amsha. Mama Eva Amsha. Okay. Jiva Loke. Jiva Loke. In the world of conditional life. Jiva Bhuta Sanatanaha. Jiva Bhuta. The conditioned living entity. Sanatanaha. Eternal. Mana Shashthan Indriyani. Manaha. With the mind. Shasthani. The 6 Indriyani. Senses. Indriyalu. Telugulo ఉంది వాడు కదా ఇంద్రియాలు ఇంద్రియాస్ సెన్సెస్ ప్రకృతి స్థాని కర్షతి ప్రకృతి ఇన్ మెటీరియల్ నేచర్ స్థాని situated karshati is struggling hard karshati is important karshati is struggling hard the living entities in this conditioned world are my eternal fragmental parts due to conditioned life they are struggling very hard with the 6 senses which include the mind. 15.15 Sarvasya chaham hridi sannivisto. Sarvasya of all living beings. Cha and aham I. Hridi in the heart. Sannivistaha situated. Mattaha smritir jnanam apohanam cha. Mattaha from me. Smriti means remembrance. Jnanam knowledge. Apohanam forgetfulness. Cha and Vedaisha sarvair ahameva vedyo. Vedahi, Vedaihi, by the Vedas, cha also. Sarvaha, Sarvaihi, all. Aham, I am. Eva, certainly. Vedyaha, knowable. Vedyo, Vedyaha, knowable. Vedantakrit Vedavid Eva Chaham. Vedantakrit, the compiler of the Vedanta. Vedavid, the knower of the Vedas. Vedantakrit Vedavid, Vedavid, the knower of the Vedas. Eva Chaham. Eva, certainly. Cha and Aham, I. I am seated in everyone's side, and from me come remembrance, knowledge, and forgetfulness. By all the Vedas, I am to be known. Indeed, I am the compiler of the Vedanta, and I am the knower of the Vedas. So, what is the meaning of Vedavid? Madhavis, Prabhus? Vedavid, Vedantakrit. Vedanta.
Knower of the Vedas and compiler of the Vedas.
మీరు చెప్పకండి ప్రభు వేరే మాత చేసిన అడుగుతున్నా ప్రభు రాజు ప్రభు ఆర్ యు దేర్ మీరున్నారా చెప్పండి వాట్ ఈస్ ద మీనింగ్ ఆఫ్ వేదాంత కృత్ వేదవిద్ ఇంకా వేదవిద్ అంతే అది అడుగుతాడు మనం ఖచ్చితంగా గుర్తుపెట్టుకోవాలి 18.55 Bhaktya mam abhijanati. Bhaktya by pure devotional service. Mam me abhijanati. One can know. Yavan yaschasmi tattvataha. Yavan yaschasmi tattvataha. As much as yaschasmi as I am tattvataha in truth. Tattvataha in truth. Tato mam tattvato jnatva. Tataha thereafter. Mam me tattvataha in truth. Jnatva knowing. Vishate tad anantaram. Vishate, he enters tad anantaram, thereafter. One can understand me as I am, as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, only by devotional service. When one is in full conscious of me, by such devotion, he can enter into the kingdom of God. 18.65 Manmana bhava madbhakto. Mat manaha, thinking of me. Bhava, just become. Madbhakta, my devotee. Matyaji mam namaskuru. Matyaji, my worshipper. Mam unto me. Namaskuru, offer your obeisances. Mam unto me. Mame vaishyasi satyam te. Mam unto me. Eva, certainly. Eshyasi, you will come. Satyam te, truly. Te, to you. Pratijane, I promise. Priyaha, dear. Asi, you are me to me. Always think of me, become my devotee, worship me, and offer your homage unto me. Thus you will come to me without fail. I promise you this because you are my very dear friend. Chalo, what is the meaning of pratijane? Prabhus, Matas, Akinchan Prabhu?
No, Prabhuji. Priyospi, I can tell Priyospi. Dear to me.
Pratijane, ఇప్పుడే చూస్తున్నాం మనం, ఇప్పుడే చదివినాం.
Jale.
సంయుక్త మాతది,
Yes.
what is the meaning of ఈ వర్స్? ఆ వర్స్ లో నేను చూపించట్లేదు, అది కావాలి. ఆ వర్స్ లో ఇట్స్ పర్టికులర్ గ్యారంటీ అన్నమాట. అది
Everyone knows, Prabhuji.
అది చేస్తే గ్యారంటీ, భగవంతుని భరోసా. చూడండి, ప్రతిజానే ఐ ప్రామిస్, భగవంతుడు ప్రామిస్ చేస్తున్నాడు. ప్రతిజానే ఐ ప్రామిస్ యూ బికాస్ యు ఆర్ మై వెరీ డియర్ ఫ్రెండ్. వితౌట్ ఫెయిల్, thus you will come to me without fail. ఎప్పుడు సతతం, ఆల్వేస్ థింక్ అబౌట్ కృష్ణ, నెవర్ ఫర్గెట్స్. అది ప్రతిజానే అన్న మళ్ళీ చెప్పండి, వాట్ ఈస్ ద మీనింగ్ ఆఫ్ ప్రతిజానే?
I promise.
I Krishna is giving us to, Krishna is promising us to take us. But requisite, prerequisite, what is the prerequisite? This is a prerequisite. రెండు, ఈ 2 లైన్లు 2 సార్లు వచ్చినాయి, 4 సార్లు వచ్చినట్టు యాక్చువల్గా భగవద్గీత. కొంచెం స్లైట్లీ డిఫరెంట్ మీనింగ్. ఎస్, 1866 సర్వధర్మాన్ పరిత్యజ్య, సర్వధర్మాన్, ఆల్ వెరైటీస్ ఆఫ్ రిలీజియన్, పరిత్యజ్య, అబాండనింగ్, మామేకం శరణం వ్రజ, మామ్ అంటూ మీ, ఏకం ఓన్లీ, శరణం ఫర్ సరెండర్, ప్రజ గో, అహం త్వాం సర్వ పాపేభ్యో, అహం ఐ am, త్వాం యు, సర్వ ఆల్, పాపేభ్యః ఫ్రమ్ సిన్ఫుల్ రియాక్షన్స్, మోక్షయిష్యామి మా శుచః, మోక్షయిష్యామి will deliver, మా do not, శుచః do not worry, శుచః worry. Okay, what is the meaning of మా శుచః?
Do not worry.
Do not worry. And what is the meaning of mokshayishyami?
Sinful reaction.
Free from sinful reaction.
Mokshayishyami, I'll give you liberation.
Will
deliver. I will deliver. Mokshayishyami.
What is the meaning of Masucha?
I promise. No.
ప్రతిజానే, అది ప్రతిజానే అంటే ఐ ప్రామిస్. ఇక్కడ మాసుచ అంటే
ఇదేదో పరమసుంచల్కి క్లాస్ ఇస్తున్నట్టు అనిపిస్తుంది.
మాసుచ అంటే డు నాట్ వరీ మతది, మాసుచ. మోక్షయిష్యామి,
ఐ విల్ డెలివర్.
ఇక్కడ చెప్తున్నానే, చూపించట్లేదు కావాలనే.
ఐ విల్ డెలివర్. మోక్షయిష్యామి, ఇస్తా,
నేనే డెలివరీ చేస్తాను, విల్ డెలివర్. ప్రతిజానే ఒకసారి చూసుకుంటా కదా, స్పెక్ ఆఫ్
ఐ ప్రామిస్.
About telling.
పరిత్యజ్య,
అబాండన్.
ఓకే ఓకే, షూర్. ఇంకొకసారి ఇవి కూడా శ్లోక, ఇది కూడా ట్రాన్స్లేషన్స్ ఒకసారి చదివి వర్డ్ బై వర్డ్, దెన్ 1 or 2 డివైడెస్ చూద్దాం. 9-5 వరకు చేద్దాం.
ప్రభుజీ, మనము అది చేసాం కదా వర్డ్ బై వర్డ్, ఫుల్ ట్రాన్స్లేషన్స్ కూడా మనం ప్రాక్టీస్ చేయాలి.
అందుకే వర్డ్స్ మీనింగ్స్ వస్తే అట్లీస్ట్ వర్డ్ టు వర్డ్ కరెక్ట్ ఉన్నట్టు చెప్పకుండా కనీసం we can cover it.
అంటే we are on 29th na Prabhuji, we have exactly like 1 week kada, and we have 13 shlokas, so every day let's master 2 translations. రిపీట్ చేద్దాం కంటిన్యూస్ గా, మనకు మాస్టర్ అవుతుంది అప్పుడు. సో అలా మనకి కవర్ అయిపోతుంది.
ఓకే, షూర్ చేద్దాం అతను. సో ఇది చూద్దాం, భక్తురసామ సింధు 1.1.11. అన్యాభిలాషిత శూన్యం, అన్య అభిలాషిత శూన్యం. ఎంత పెద్ద ట్రాన్స్లేషన్ ఇచ్చాడు అండి శిలప్రభుపాద. అన్యాభిలాషిత శూన్యం, వితౌట్ డిజైర్స్ అదర్ దాన్ దోస్ ఫర్ ద సర్వీస్ ఆఫ్ లార్డ్ కృష్ణ, service of Lord Krishna, or without material desires, such as those for meat eating, illicit sex, gambling, and addiction to intoxicants. Anyabhilashita shunyam. Jnana karmadi anavrutam. Jnana, by the knowledge of the philosophy of the monist Mayavadis. Karma, by fruitive activities. Anavrutam, term Adi, by artificially practicing detachment. Adi ante ఎంత పెద్ద ఉంది చూడండి. Jnana karmadi anavrutam Adi, by artificially practicing detachment by the mechanical practice of yoga, by studying the Sankhya philosophy and so on. Anavrutam, uncovered. Anukulyena Krishnanu, Anukulyena, favorable, Krishnanu Sheelanam, whatever word. Krishnanu Sheelanam, cultivation of service in relationship to Krishna. Cultivation of service in relationship to Krishna. Bhakti Uttama, Bhaktihi Uttama, first class devotional service. When first class devotional service develops, one must be devoid of all material desires, knowing obtained by monastic philosophy, fruitive action. The devotee must constantly serve Krishna favorably as Krishna desires. Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 1.1.12. Sarvopadi Vinirmuktam. Okate word undi. Sarvopadi Vinirmuktam. Free from all kinds of material designations, or free from all desires, except the desire to render service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Tatparatvena Nirmalam. By the sole purpose of serving the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Nirmalam, uncontaminated by the effects of speculative philosophical research or fruitive activity. Rishikena Rishikesha. Rishikena, by purified senses freed from all designations. Rishikesha, the master of the senses. Sevanam Bhakti Ruchyate. Sevanam, the service to satisfy the senses. Bhakti, devotional service, Uchyate, is called. Bhakti or devotional service means engaging all our senses in the service of the Lord, the Supreme Personality, the master of all the senses. When the spirit soul renders service unto the Supreme, there are two side effects. One is freed from all material designations and simply being employed in the service of the Lord once the senses are purified. So in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 1.2.24. Atha Shri Krishna Namadi Ataha. Therefore, because Krishna's name, form, qualities, and pastimes are all on the absolute platform, Sri Krishna Namadi, Lord Krishna's name, form, qualities, pastimes, and so on. Na bhavet grahyam indriyaihi. Not bhavet, can be. Grahyam, perceived. Indriyaihi, by the blunt material senses. Sevon mukhehi jihvadu. Sevon mukhe, to one engaged in his service. When a person places himself at the disposal or order of the Supreme Lord, at that time the spiritual energy or hare gradually reveals the Lord to him. He certainly, jihvadau, beginning with the tongue, swayam eva spuratyada, swayam, personally, eva, certainly, spurati, be manifest, adaha, those Krishna's name, form, quality, and so on. Because Krishna's form, qualities, pastimes, etc. are on the absolute platform, material senses cannot therefore appreciate them. When a conditioned soul is awakened to Krishna consciousness, renders service by using his tongue to chant the Lord's holy name and taste the remnants of the Lord's food. The tongue is purified and one gradually comes to understand who Krishna really is. So two things in it. How to utilize our tongue to chant the holy names of the Lord, to take Lord's mercy as a prasadam. Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 1.2.255. Anasaktasya Vishayan. Anasaktasya. Of one who is without attachment. Without any interest in material desires or material things. Anasaktasya. Of one who is without attachment. Vishayan, to material Vishayan, to material sense objects. Yatarham, according to Yatarham Upayunjata, according to suitability. Upayunjataha, engaging. Nirbandha Krishna Sambandhe, Nirbandhaha, without bondage. Krishna Sambandhe, in relationship with Krishna. Yuktam Vairagyam Uchyate, Yuktam, proper. Vairagyam, renunciation. Uchyate is called. So what is the meaning of Upayunjata? Quickly browse through your eyes. Mother is browse. What is the meaning of Upayunjata?
Engaging.
Huh?
Engaging.
Engaging. Okay. Nirbandha.
Without bondage.
ఓకే, ఎస్ ఆల్రెడీ 9 o'clock అవుతుంది. ఒక్కళ్ళు రిసైడ్ చేయండి ఎవరైనా. మాతాజీ సార్ ప్రభు లలిత్ మోహన్ ప్రభు చేస్తే నాకు భయం ఇస్తుంది మరి. అది ఆ ట్యూన్ ద్వారా ఇవన్నీ మర్చిపోతాయేమో.
నేను చెయ్య ప్రభు, నేను లాస్ట్ దాకా చెయ్యను. ఎందుకంటే మీరు ఎక్కువ వింటూ ఉంటే నేను మర్చిపోతాను అనిపిస్తుంది ఒకసారి ప్రభు.
మీరు మర్చిపోలేదు, దట్ ఈస్ ద టార్గెట్. మీరు మర్చిపోయినాక మీకు టెస్ట్ అది. నేను ఏం నేర్చుకున్నా బేస్ 20 years బ్యాక్ ఏం నేర్చుకున్నా, అసలు ఎక్కడ పోతున్నా ఒకసారి మళ్ళా అయిపోతుంది. ట్రిక్ మీద ఏం ప్రభు, మీరు సస్టైన్ ఉంటుంది, అదేం కదని. యా, ఎవరైనా చేస్తారా క్విక్లీ? 3-4 minutes అయిపోతాయి అన్ని శ్లోకాలు. చేయండి మాతాజీ. చెప్పండి, చేయండి శిరీష మాత, చేయండి.
ప్రకృతిస్థో హి భుంక్తే ప్రకృతి జాన్గుణాన్ కారణం గుణ సంగోస్య సత్ అసత్యో నిజన్మసు. ట్రాన్స్లేషన్: ద లివింగ్ ఎంటిటీ ఇన్ మెటీరియల్ నేచర్.
ఈ వాయిస్ బ్రేక్ అవుతుంది.
The living entity in material nature thus follows the ways of life, enjoying the three modes of nature. This is due to his association with the material nature. Thus he meets with good and evil among various species.
స్పైసెస్ అనేది ఆయన మాత కూరలు.
Bhagavad Gita 13.23. ఉపద్రష్టానుమంతా చ భర్తభోక్తా మహేశ్వర పరమాత్మేతి చాప్యుక్తో దేహేస్మిన్ పురుష పర. Translation: Yet in this body there is another, a transcendental enjoyer, who is the Lord, the supreme proprietor, who exists as the overseer and permitter, and who is known as the super soul. Bhagavad Gita 14.26. మాంచయో వ్యభిచారేణ భక్తి యోగేన సేవతే సగుణాన్ సమతీత్యైతాన్ బ్రహ్మభూయాయ కల్పతే. Translation: One who engages in full devotional service, unfailing in all circumstances, at once transcends the modes of material nature and thus comes to the level of Brahman. Bhagavad Gita 15.7. మమైవాంసో జీవలోకే జీవభూతా సనాతన మనశ్శష్టానింద్రియాణి ప్రకృతిస్థాని కర్షతి. Translation: The living entities in this conditioned world are my eternal fragmental parts. Due to conditioned life, they are struggling very hard with the 6 senses, which include the mind. Bhagavad Gita 15.15. सर्वस्य चाहं हृदि सन्निविष्टो मत्तः स्मृतिर्ज्ञानमपोहनं च वेदैश्च सर्वैरहमेव वेद्यो वेदान्तकृत्वेदविधिरेव चाहम्. Translation: I am seated in everyone's heart, and from me come remembrance, knowledge, and forgetfulness. By all the Vedas, I am to be known. Indeed, I am the compiler of Vedanta, and I am the knower of the Vedas. Bhagavad Gita 18.54. Brahmabhuta prasannatma na sochati na kankshati samasarveshu bhuteshu matbhaktim labate param. Translation: One who is thus transcendently situated at once realizes the Supreme Brahman and becomes fully joyful. He never laments or desires to have anything. He is equally disposed towards every living entity. In that state, he attends pure devotional service unto me. Bhagavad Gita 18.55. Bhaktya mam abhijanati yavanyashchashmi tatvata tato mam tatvato gnatva vishate tatanantaram. Translation: One can understand me as I am, as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, only by devotional service, and when one is in full consciousness of me, by such devotion, he can enter into the kingdom of God. Bhagavad Gita 18.65. Manmana bhava madbhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru mame vaishyasi satyam te pratijane priyosi me. Translation: Always think of me, become my devotee, worship me, and offer your homage unto me. Thus you will come to me without fail. I promise you this because you are my very dear friend. Bhagavad Gita 18.66. सर्वधर्मान् परित्यज्य मामेकं शरणं व्रज अहं त्वं सर्वपापेभ्यो मोक्षयिष्यामि मा शुचा. Translation: Abandon all varieties of religion and just surrender unto me. I shall deliver you from all sinful reactions. Do not fear.
What is the meaning of Parityaja, Mataji?
Prabhuji?
Parityaja. Abandoning all. Okay. చేయండి ఇది కూడా ఈ నాలెడ్జ్ ఏమవుతుంది క్విక్లీ.
Rasamrita Sindhu 1.1.11 అన్యాభిలాషితా శూన్యం జ్ఞానకర్మాదియనవృతం అనుకూల్యేన కృష్ణాను శీలనం భక్తిరుత్తమ. Translation: when first class devotional service develops, one must be devoid of all material desires, knowledge obtained by monastic philosophy, and fruitive action. The devotee must constantly serve Krishna favorably as Krishna desires.
మేము మళ్ళీ ఏంటి ఇది కరెక్ట్ చేసుకోవడం అవుతుంది. మన లీలారాం ప్రభు ఇట్లా ముద్ర ఫ్రూటివ్ మళ్ళీ ఏంటి.
When first class devotional service develops, one must be devoid of all material desires, knowledge obtained by monastic philosophy, and fruitive action. The devotee must constantly serve Krishna favorably as Krishna desires.
ఈ మధ్య ప్రభుజీ కూడా కరెక్ట్ చేసుకున్నాడు. యాక్చువల్లీ వింటున్నాను నేను అప్పుడప్పుడు.
Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 1.1.12 సర్వోపాధి వినిర్ముక్తం తత్పరత్వేన నిర్మలం రిషికేన రిషికేశ సేవనం భక్తిరుచ్యతే. Translation: Bhakti or devotional service means engaging all our senses in the service of the Lord, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the master of all the senses. When the spirit soul renders service unto the Supreme, there are two side effects. One is freed from all material designations, and simply by being employed in the service of the Lord, one's senses are purified. Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 1.2.234 అత శ్రీకృష్ణ నామాది న భవేద్ గృహ్యమింద్రియాద్ సేవోన్ముఖే హి జిహ్వాదౌ స్వయం ఏవ స్ఫూర్తయతః. స్ఫురత్యదః. Translation: because Krishna's form, qualities, pastimes, etc. are all on the absolute form, material senses cannot therefore appreciate them. When a conditioned soul is awakened to Krishna consciousness and renders service by using his tongue to chant the Lord's holy name and taste the remains of the Lord's food, the tongue is purified and one gradually comes to understand who Krishna really is. Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 1.2.255 Anasaktasya vishayan yatarham upayunjita nirbandha Krishna sambandhe yuktam vairagyamuchyate. Translation: when one is not attached to anything but at the same time accepts everything in relation to Krishna, one is rightly situated above possessiveness. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Mother. Thank you so much for reciting. By reciting this Mata is tune, who is remembering? Mata, మీరు చెప్పకండి. మన ఎవరు శిరీష మత మీరు చెప్పకండి. ఈ ట్యూన్ who mostly recites?
చైతన్య చరణ్ ప్రభు.
And గౌరంగ దర్శన్ ప్రభు also. గౌరంగ దర్శన్ ప్రభు ఇదే కంటిన్యూ. మీరు అదే సీక్వెన్స్ ఒకటి వండర్ఫుల్ మాతది. అదే సీక్వెన్స్ లో అన్ని శ్లోకాలు అదే ట్యూన్ లో ఒక ఎక్సెప్ట్ సర్వస్య చాహం హృది సన్నివిష్టం అన్ని ఓకే మాత. మీకు అట్లా గుర్తుండే నైస్. అట్లా గుర్తుంటుందా మీకు మాతది? అది
కూడా గుర్తుంటది ప్రభుజీ, కానీ అప్పుడు
ఎగ్జామ్ అప్పుడు ఏది స్విచ్ అవుతుందో అది మీకే తెలియదు. చలో థ్యాంక్ యూ సో మచ్ అగైన్. Let us meet again on Monday. We can.
Once we do that Sloka, Prabhuji, because.
Sorry. Let me share. 1 second. Forgot actually. Yeah. Anchor Slokas. Let me share. Let us do.
Just a minute. 1 minute.
Yeah. Why not?
Yes. Samyukta Mataji and Chandramauli Prabhu. Samyukta Mataji unnara? Helpera.
Unnaru.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Ivala meeru Chandramauli Prabhu chestaru.
Yes, sir.
Mataji, we are here only to teach you, Mataji, not to correct you. But in that process, if it is required, we will do that also.
Our
Okay,
main
Prabhuji.
goal is not to correct you, but to teach. That's it. అందరూ ఒక
Prabhuji,
కథ మీద తెచ్చేయాలి మాతాజీ. చివరికి వెళ్ళాలి 2 వారాల లోపు. ఓకే.
ఒకసారి మీరు చేయండి ప్రభుజీ, నేను చేస్తాను.
నేను చేస్తాను.
ఓకే ప్రభుజీ.
నేను చేస్తాను మాతాజీ. 10.52.37 శ్రీ రుక్మిణి ఉవాచ శ్రుత్వా గుణాన్ భువన సుందర శృణ్వతాం తే నిర్విశ్య కర్ణ వివరైర్హరతోంగతాపం రూపం దృశాం దృశిమతామఖిలార్తలాభం త్వయ్యాచ్యుతా విశతి చిత్తమపత్రపం మే. ఓకేనా ప్రభు?
త్వయ్యచ్యుతా విశతి చిత్తమపత్రపం మే. వెళ్తుంది ప్రభుజీ.
అక్కడ ఏ పైన అది ఉంది కదా, త్వయ్యచ్యుతా విశతి చిత్తమపత్రపం మే, అంతేనా? ఓకే, షూర్ ప్రభు. చేయండి ఇంకా మాతాజీ. అండ్ చంద్రవేల్ ప్రభు మీకు ట్యూన్స్ వచ్చేసినాయి, ఇంకా చేయండి.
ఎస్ ప్రభుజీ. శ్రీ రుక్మిణి వాచ శ్రుత్వా గుణాన్ భువన సుందర శృణ్వతాంతే నిర్విశ్య కర్ణ వివరైర్హరతోంగతాపం రూపం దృశాం దృశిమతామఖిలార్థలాభం త్వయ్యచ్యుతా విశతి చిత్తమపత్రపం మే. కరెక్టేనా ప్రభుజీ?
కరెక్ట్ మాతాజీ, ఎగ్జాక్ట్లీ. ఓన్లీ ఏంటి అంటే స్ట్రెస్సింగ్ ఆన్ ద వర్డ్స్ మాతాజీ. ఇది రేపు ఎల్లుండి మీకు వస్తుంది స్లోగా. దీన్ని ఒకసారి 20 రోజులు అంటే 20 సార్లు మామూలుగా ఏదో పని చేసుకుంటారు కదా మీరు, అప్పుడు ఒకసారి చూడండి మాతాజీ. ఏంటంటే మీకు ట్యూన్ వచ్చేసింది. ఓన్లీ థింగ్ ఇస్ దట్ ఒత్తులు రావట్లేదు అనమాట, అంతే. అండ్ దట్ ఈస్ నాట్ ఇంపార్టెంట్ యాక్చువల్లీ. మనం ట్యూన్ గుర్తుపెట్టుకోవాలంతే. ఎందుకంటే ఈ ఒత్తులు ఒక్కొక్క చోట ఒక్కొక్క శ్లోకాలు ఒక్కొక్క చోట మారిపోతాయి అనమాట, ఒక చోట అటు ఇటు అయిపోతూ ఉంటాయి. బట్ ట్యూన్ అయితే వచ్చేసింది, ఒత్తులు తీసుకురావాలంతే. శ్రుత్వా గుణాన్ భువన ఈ ఒత్తులు ఉన్నాయి కదా అటు ఇటు, అది ట్యూనింగ్ మాత్రం, ఫైన్ ట్యూనింగ్, అది వచ్చేస్తుంది తర్వాత. బట్ ఫస్ట్ ట్యూన్ వచ్చేసింది మీకు. వాయిస్ మాడ్యులేషన్ ఒక్కటే రావాలంతే మాతాజీ, అది వచ్చేస్తుంది.
దీనివల్ల ఏమైతారంటే మాతాజీ అందరికి కూడా ఈ శ్లోకాలు మంచిగా చేయగలిగితే మీరు మంచి సింగర్స్ కూడా కాగలుగుతారు.
ప్రభుజీ, గోల్ ఇస్ టు రీడ్ భాగవతం, టు ఎంజాయ్ రిలీషింగ్ రీడింగ్ భాగవతం. మనం ఏంటంటే అసలు we mostly abuse the Sloka and translation, and we go to purpose of translation. That's it, na? So that should not be the goal actually, because this is Deva Bhasha. This is different actually. Completely. Chandramauli Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Hare Krishna Prabhuji Mataji. Sri Rukmini Vacha. Srutva gunan bhavana sundara srinvatante నిర్విశ్య కర్ణ వివరైర్హర్తోంగతాపం రూపం దృశాం దృశమతామఖిలార్థలాభం త్వయచ్యుత విశతి చిత్తం అపత్రపం మే.
చెప్పాలి మీరే లలిత్ మోహన్ ప్రభు.
ప్రభుజీ, చంద్రమౌళి ప్రభు
చెప్పండి ప్రభుజీ.
ఫస్ట్ లైన్ ఒక్కటే చేయండి ప్రభుజీ.
ఓకే. శ్రుత్వా గుణాన్ భవన సుందర శృణ్వతాం తే.
ఒక్క నిమిషం ఆగండి ప్రభు, నేను ఇప్పుడు చెప్తాను, మీరు నాకు రిపీట్ చేయండి. తర్వాత ఒక్కొక్క వర్డ్ నేను మీకు చెప్తాను, సరేనా?
ఓకే ప్రభు.
శ్రుత్వా అనండి ప్రభుజీ.
శ్రుత్వా
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 గుణాన్ భువనసున్
గుణాన్ భవనసున్
గుణాన్ భువనసున్
గుణాన్ భవనసున్
దరశృణ్వతాం తే
దరశృణ్వతాం తే
దరశృణ్వతాం తే
దరశృణ్వతాం తే.
ప్రభుజీ, మీరు రెస్ట్ తాం దగ్గర తీసుకోండి. సుందర శృణ్వా ఒకటే, దరశృణ్వా అనేది ఒకటి చదవండి, ఒక వర్డ్ కింద చదవాలి.
ఓకే ప్రభుజీ.
దరశృణ్వతాం తే.
దరశృణ్వతాం తే.
పర్ఫెక్ట్, ఇట్లా రావాలా. దరశృణ్వతాం తే.
దరశృణ్వతాం తే.
మళ్ళీ ఒకసారి నేను ఫస్ట్ 3 words చదువుతాను ప్రభుజీ, మీరు నాలాగా సేమ్ రిపీట్ చేయాలి.
ఓకే ప్రభుజీ.
శ్రుత్వా గుణాన్ భువనసున్. ఒక్క నిమిషం మళ్ళీ. శ్రుత్వా గుణాన్ భువనసున్
శృత్వా గుణాన్ భువనసుం.
ప్రభుజీ వా దగ్గర శృత్వా దగ్గర మీరు రాగం తీస్తున్నారు, అది చేయకండి. శృత్వా గుణాన్ భువనసున్.
శృత్వా గుణాన్ భువనసుం.
శృత్వా గుణాన్ భువనసున్.
శృత్వా గుణాన్ భువనసుం.
శృత్వా దగ్గర ఆ బాగా ఎక్కువ వస్తుంది ప్రభుజీ, అంత శృత్వా అని చదవండి దాన్ని అంతే.
ఓకే ఓకే. శృత్వా గుణాన్ భువనసుం.
శృత్వా గుణాన్ భువనసున్.
శృత్వా గుణాన్ భువనసుం.
శృత్వా మళ్ళీ కొంచెం ఎక్కువ అవుతుంది ప్రభు. శృత్వా గుణాన్.
ఓకే ప్రభు. శృత్వా గుణాన్ భువనసుం.
ఇప్పుడు కొంచెం పర్వాలేదు ప్రభుజీ.
శృత్వా గుణాన్ భువనసుం. ఓకే ప్రభుజీ.
శృత్వా గుణాన్ భువనసున్.
శృత్వా గుణాన్ భువనసుం.
దరశృణ్వతాం తే.
దరశృణ్వతాం తే.
దరశృణ్వతాం తే.
దరశృణ్వతాం తే.
మీకు అన్ని బాగా వస్తున్నాయి ప్రభుజీ, ఒక్క శృత్వా గుణాన్ దగ్గర అటు ఇటు అవుతుంది ప్రభు మాడ్యులేషన్, బట్ స్టిల్ ఓకే. మీ పేస్ లోనే వెళ్దాం ప్రభుజీ, సరేనా? స్లోగా అర్థం అవుతుంది మీకు. శృత్వా గుణాన్ భువనసున్.
శృత్వా గుణాన్ భువనసుం.
శృత్వా గుణాన్ భువనసున్.
శృత్వా గుణాన్ భువనసుం.
ఇప్పుడు బాగుంది ప్రభుజీ, కొంచెం లాస్ట్ టైం, సరేనా? మీరు ఈ ఒక్క లైన్ ప్రాక్టీస్ చేయండి ప్రభు ఇవాళంతా, ఓకేనా?
షూర్ ప్రభుజీ.
Prabhu, I'm sorry for irritating everyone, but it is how it goes actually. Let us bring everyone to the same level and then we'll go ahead. Okay?
ఇంకోసారి చదవమంటారు ప్రభుజీ నన్ను?
ఒక్కసారి లైన్ అంతా చదవండి ప్రభు.
ఓకే. శృత్వా గుణాన్ భువనసుం దరశృణ్వతాం తే. నిర్విశ్య కర్ణ వివరైర్హర్తోంగతాపం. రూపం దృశాం దృశమతాం అఖిలార్థలాభం. త్వయచ్యుత విశతి చిత్తం అభద్రపం మే. జై.
ఓకే ప్రభు, హరే కృష్ణ. ధన్యవాదాలు ప్రభు. We'll conclude. It's already 9:17. I'm extremely sorry for dragging this.
No, sorry from my side also, Prabhuji, Mataji.
No, it's not like that. We'll learn.
దేనికి సారీ బాబు, నేర్చుకుంటున్నాం, జస్ట్ నథింగ్ లైక్ దట్. యా, వీ హావ్ టు లెర్న్ ప్రాపర్లీ, దట్స్ ట్రూ. నేను సారీ బాబు, నేను మీతో మీరు అది ప్రాక్టీస్ చేస్తుంటే నేను కొంచెం వేరే మెసేజ్ చూసుకుంటున్నా ఆఫీస్ది. థ్యాంక్ యూ సో మచ్ అగైన్. లెట్ us meet on Monday since we have calls on Tuesdays, weekends. Let us connect on Monday. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Ananta koti vaishnavrinda ki jai. Shila Prabhupada ki jai. Shila Gurudev ki jai. Nitai Gaura Hari Premanande. Hare Krishna.